Hello everyone, welcome to today's video on the Indian judiciary system. In this video, we will be discussing the structure and functioning of the Indian judiciary system, which is the backbone of the Indian legal system. Structure of the Indian judiciary system. The Indian judiciary system comprises three levels of courts, namely the Supreme Court, High Courts, and lower courts. The Supreme Court is the highest judicial authority in the country and is located in Delhi. The High Courts are located in different states and have jurisdiction over their respective states. The lower courts include district courts, subordinate courts, and magistrate courts. Apart from the above structure, there are also two branches of the legal system, which are 1. Criminal law. These deal with the committing of a crime by any citizen, entity. 1. A criminal case starts when the local police file a crime report. 1. The court finally decides on the matter. 2. Civil law. These deal with disputes over the violation of the fundamental rights of a citizen. Supreme Court has three types of jurisdictions. They are original, appellate and advisory. The jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is mentioned in Articles 131, 133, 136 and 143 of the Constitution. Functioning of the Indian judiciary system. The Indian judiciary system follows the adversarial system, where the prosecution and defense argue their cases before the court. The system also follows the principle of judicial review, where the courts can examine the validity of laws passed by the legislative and executive branches of the government. The functions of the judiciary in India are 1. Administration of justice. The chief function of the judiciary is to apply the law to specific cases or in settling disputes. 1. When a dispute is brought before the courts, it determines the facts involved through evidence presented by the contestants. 1. The law then proceeds to decide what law is applicable to the case and applies it. 1. If someone is found guilty of violating the law in the course of the trial, the court will impose a penalty on the guilty person. 2. Creation of judge case law. In many cases, the judges are not able to, or find it difficult to select the appropriate law for application. 2. In such cases, the judges decide what the appropriate law is on the basis of their wisdom and common sense. 2. In doing so, judges have built up a great body of judge-made law, or case law. As per the doctrine of stare decisis, the previous decisions of judges are generally regarded as binding on later judges in similar cases. 3. Guardian of the Constitution. The highest court in India, the SC, acts as the guardian of the Constitution. 3. The conflicts of jurisdiction between the central government and the state governments or between the legislature and the executive are decided by the court. 3. Any law or executive order which violates any provision of the Constitution is declared unconstitutional or null and void by the judiciary. 3. This is called judicial review. Judicial review has the merit of guaranteeing the fundamental rights of individuals and ensuring a balance between the union and the units in a federal state. 4. Protector of fundamental rights. The judiciary ensures that people's rights are not trampled upon by the state or any other agency. 4. The superior courts enforce fundamental rights by issuing writs. 5. Supervisory functions. The higher courts also perform the function of supervising the subordinate courts in India. 6. Advisory functions. The SC in India performs an advisory function as well. 6. It can give its advisory opinions on constitutional questions. 6. This is done in the absence of disputes and when the executive so desires. 7. Administrative functions. Some functions of the courts are non-judicial or administrative in nature. 8. The courts may grant certain licenses, administer the estates, property, of deceased persons and appoint receivers. 9. They register marriages, appoint guardians of minor children and lunatics. 10. Special role in a federation. In a federal system like India's, the judiciary also performs the important task of settling disputes between the center and states. 11. It also acts as an arbiter of disputes between states. 12. Conducting judicial inquiries. Judges normally are called to head commissions that inquire into cases of errors or omissions on the part of public servants. 13. Role of the Indian judiciary system. The Indian judiciary system plays a crucial role in upholding the rule of law and protecting the rights of citizens. 14. The judiciary has the power to interpret the Constitution and ensure that the laws are in conformity with it. 14. It also resolves disputes between individuals, organizations, and the government. Judicial review. Judicial review is defined as the doctrine under which executive and legislative actions are reviewed by the judiciary. Even though we have in India the principle of separation of powers of the three arms of the state, namely, the executive, the legislative and the judiciary, the judiciary is vested with the power of review over actions of the other two arms. 1. Judicial review is considered a basic structure of the Constitution, Indira Gandhi vs. Raj Narain case. 2. Judicial review is the power of the courts to consider the constitutionality of acts of organs of government and declare it unconstitutional if it violates or is inconsistent with the basic principles of the Constitution. 3. This means that the power of the legislature to make laws is not absolute and that the validity and constitutionality of such laws are subject to review by the courts. 4. Judicial review is also called the interpretational and observer roles of the Indian judiciary. 5. The Indian Constitution adopted the judicial review on lines of the American Constitution. 6. Suo motu cases in the public interest litigation, PIL, with the discontinuation of the principle of locus standi, have allowed the judiciary to intervene in many public issues, even when there is no complaint from the aggrieved party. 7. Judicial activism. Judicial activism is a concept that originated in the US in 1947. 6. It has been seen in India since the emergency days. 9. The judiciary plays an important role in upholding and promoting the rights of citizens in a country. 10. The active role of the judiciary in upholding the rights of citizens and preserving the constitutional and legal system of the country is known as judicial activism. 11. This entails, sometimes overstepping into the territories of the executive. 12. Candidates should know the judicial overreach is an aggravated version of judicial activism. Judicial activism is seen as a success in liberalizing access to justice and giving relief to disadvantaged groups, because of the efforts of Justices V.R. Krishna Iyer and P.N. Bhagwati. The Black's Law Dictionary defines judicial activism as judicial philosophy which motivates judges to depart from the traditional precedents in favor of progressive and new social policies. Conclusion. In conclusion, the Indian judiciary system is an essential pillar of the Indian legal system. It upholds the rule of law and ensures that citizens' rights are protected. With its independence, impartiality, and transparency, the judiciary plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of power in the country.